This is in response to what I'd call the motivation question. It's formulated in many ways to what's motivation, where does it come from, where does it go, and what does it do to a person? A person who's specifically interested in this subject of motivation, because there's a lot going around. For decades and decades, people are having conversations around this subject. And there's a very strong belief that a well motivated or with a person with a strong motivation can achieve what they want. So much that for a lot of people it becomes elusive because there's no bar measuring what amount of motivation would lead an individual to what kind of an outcome, the fruit. So once that, also there's a lot of interest amongst people who would want to motivate themselves and also to others who would want to pass on this sense of motivation to other people. So there's a lot going on around this one single word. Now, the thought that I'm offering today is to actually see, critically examine motivation itself. The first thought is if this is merely words, so if I'm trying to inspire myself, if I'm trying to motivate myself strongly, or I'm trying to motivate other people, to see if it is merely words. For example, if I say, Avilash, you need to be more into social service, but I haven't actually, let's say, for example, donated blood even once in my life, even though I qualify myself to do so. Of course, it's a choice. But what I'm saying is, if I want to be socially successful, and I see that being socially engaged is a path to be more engaged, and things like this, donating blood, helping in volunteer activities, lots and lots of them available. I'm just giving you an example. Again, to not really think that, okay, so if I haven't donated blood, maybe I'm not really socially active. Just an example. Now, if we look at that, the action itself, even when done once, it means that the person has set into motion something that's visceral, that's bodily. And when such an embodiment of mind and speech come together, so there's body, speech, and mind coming together, then I think the test, the congruence test, all of these things coming together, mind, speech, and body, and assertment that I will do so on and so forth. In the mind, having the inspiration, having the grit, whatever it takes to think that I will accomplish this, and thinking of ways to do it, so that the mind's present, the speech, even though if it's just an articulation or formulation in the mind itself, let's call it speech, even though it's not really spoken out loud, there is congruence when they come together. But when the bodily action joins them, then it becomes complete. There's total congruence. And from there, any action that's being done in the journey itself feels good. So much that even the fruit, the outcome may be different. Sometimes it's the desired outcome. Sometimes there's this outcome that we've not really thought about, something else. And sometimes it's an outcome that we don't want. But when a journey is taken with full congruence, despite of the reality of the world, despite of the fact that everything is impermanent and fleeting, so much, it's so subtle that from the beginning of our journey to the middle of our journey, all throughout to the end of our journey, to achieve something, to receive a certain fruit, the entirety has so much dynamics that things may change. Even though when we are really certain about things may not manifest as we want them to be. But when the mind, body, and speech are in so much congruence, when they are so much together, integrated, the journey becomes important. And here, the mind is at peace, regardless of the outcome. because the journey is in calm, in abiding in peace, and therefore the motivation, any motivation that we are thinking of, if it's coming through all of these together, mind, body, and speech, we just check if the motivation feels right or if it's actually embodied in our body, speech, and mind, then I think it's a good way to go. And this kind of motivation is just not merely hollow words that others may give it to us, or we trying to passing on to others. This is beyond words. There's no need for a word for a motivation like this. Let's do a contemplation on this body, speech, and mind motivation, how it feels. We can contemplate a little bit. We can just feel. We could test it with small things. Let's say we want to do something and we want to motivate ourselves, get out of bed. Just take a second, a breather, and say, how does this feel? That motivation, I think, is very useful. Thank you.